grid up for us here this evening at Brands Hatch. And as we await the arrival of all of the cars onto the grid, then we will get the rolling lap underway. Andre Castro on pole position, Tobias Danhauer alongside Lassie Sorensen and Alex Fontana on row number 2, with Bavo Fallon and Alessandro Brigatti on row number 3. Row number 4 is number 41, Fabrizio Amata, and the British driver, number 78, Alex Sedgwick, with the next row of the grid being Alain Mousqueron and Santu Vauxhall. Onto row number 6, Nave Talor for Solaris Motorsport has one of the Bleaky Molens alongside. Sorry, it's Michael Stolman for Team Bleaky Molen that sits alongside, but already they are off and on the green flag rolling lap. Now it will be a 10-minute heat. Remember, only the top 10 automatically go through to the main championship race. If you're outside of the top 10, you head into the last chance qualifying race and have to see exactly what you might be able to do from there. So the race very shortly is about to get underway. However, joining us in live commentary at this stage, we'll grab a quick word with him now and maybe cut back once the race has got underway for a further chat. It's the managing director of Circuit Ricardo Tormo that joins me in live commentary, which is Gonzalo Gerber. Gonzalo, welcome along to the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series Esports Series.
Hello everyone, how are you?
It's great that you're able to join us, and by the look of things, you've managed to get yourself a very quick driver representing the circuit this evening.
Yeah, I think it's Pablo Lopez, no? Competing for
Pablo
us
Lopez
this evening. So yeah, we hope he does very well. I think it was very surprising Iker Lecuona also, and Claudio, our marshal, was very good also. And really looking forward to see how Pablo performs, really.
We were due to have been out with you at Circuit Ricardo Tormo at the beginning of the season, but with what's going on in the world, and that's delayed. We will still get to see you and get to enjoy NASCAR around your track later on this year.
Yeah, for sure. 4th, 5th, and 6th December. It's going to be a final of the final round for the championship, and I hope it's going to be very good. December weather in Spain is very mild sometimes, especially not in Spain, in Valencia, and I really hope all this virus and all this thing clears out and we can have a perfect race with public. Hopefully.
Well, we'll get the race underway. Stay with us, Gonzalo. Don't go anywhere. But the cars are just heading up towards the start-finish line. We'll get the race underway, and then we'll come back and have another quick chat. Remember, Andre Castro sitting there on pole position. Tobias Dallenhauer sitting alongside. Andre Castro looking to try and grab a win if he can. He won his heat at Daytona. He won his heat last time here at Brands Hatch, but that was on the Indy circuit. Red lights on, red lights go out. It's a great start from Andre Castro in pole position up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, and Lassie Sorensen is going to slot himself through into second place ahead of Tobias Dallenhauer, who's there in third. There's contact further back, and by the look of things, I think Alain Mousqueron got tangled up with several other cars there. I saw his car sideways in the middle of the circuit. It looks as though he's not the only one as well. Michael Stolman has also got tangled up, and Santu Vauxhall have all tumbled down towards the tail end of the field. But Andre Castro leads from Lassie Sorensen and Tobias Dallenhauer. Alessandro Brigatti is there in 4th place, but he's under pressure from that car there. Alex Sedgwick, as we go on board with the British driver, in 5th position. Fantastic V8 engine thunders its way down Pilgrim's Drop and in towards the right-hander at Hawthorne Bend. Gonzalo Gobert still continues to join me in commentary. Gonzalo, we're talking about the driver that you've got behind the wheel this week, which is Pablo GoPro Lopez, to give him his correct name as he's known. But we had one of your circuit marshals driving the car last week, and he went beautifully well.
Yeah, Claudio, our marshals are not only working, in the track, but they are normally very, very fan of motorsports. So I'm not surprised Claudio was performing that well.
I was absolutely gobsmacked. He must have been hugely happy with his performance, Claudio Sabatini, because at one point he had a double former Mexican champion behind him, Ruben Garcia.
Wow, yeah, it's fantastic. It is amazing. I know very well, not very well, but I know Ordóñez, the Spanish driver. And he was, before competing in Formula Nissan, blah, 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 even in Japan and Spain, in GTs, whatever, he was a very good sim racer. So this is something. If you are very good in virtual races, you are good also in real races.
I remember seeing Luca Ordonez racing in the UK, and when he was coming through that academy, and then going on to race in things like Le Mans and things as well. So a quick replay of some of the action. That was Bavo Fallon that got tagged into a spin there by the look of things and dropped down into 14th position. Final quick question for you, Gonzalez, before we let you go. The NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, it's always a pleasure to go to Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Your fans enjoy what is a very different event, a very unique event, a family event when we head to you.
Well, it is, and it's with this American flavor, you know, it works always. And I always say it's my second favorite event during the year. First is MotoGP, but then it's the NASCAR. And for sure we will, you know, in this dodgy or strange year we are experiencing, this is going to be a relief to have the NASCAR again with us and full of people, I hope.
Well, it's lovely to chat to you. We need to up our game a bit because we want to be your favourite event. So we'll see what we can do to try and displace MotoGP.
Yeah, we will try. We will push hard.
Thank you, Gonzalez.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Fred Gabillon has a rotating Alain Mouscaron directly ahead of him. Now, that means that Mouscaron now, with that spin, has dropped out of the automatic qualification places. He is now down in 11th position by the look of things. So work to be done here. I'm not quite sure what happened. He just seemed to get on the power. The car sort of started to wiggle around on the grass, and from then there was a full rotation, but that is enough to drop him from automatic qualification down into 11th place, which is one place off, automatically going through to the main event. Looking at the battle for the lead of the race, Andre Castro continues to lead from Lasse Sorensen in second place, Tobias Dauenhauer in third position. So it's a DF1 Racing 1-2 at this stage, with Hendricks Motorsport being in third and fourth position. It's a Feedvict Racing car, that of Alessandro Brigatti, that's there in fifth, and Brax Racing have got Alex Sedgwick there in sixth position. But we are now heading towards the halfway point of this race. Andre Castro, last time through, set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 27.21 from him. That was just 7/100ths of a second quicker than Lasse Sorensen, who in turn was only 3/100ths of a second quicker than Tobias Dauenhauer. So the top three are all matching themselves for pace as we go on board with Tobias Dauenhauer downhill up towards the braking area for Druids, the highest part of the circuit here at Brands Hatch. You head through the right-hand hairpin, downhill into the braking area for Graham Hill Bend. Very easy to run wide on the exit because you're braking downhill into that corner. All of the drivers using all of the curbs, but no more than that. There's been a couple of off-track warnings that have come in so far. Loris Hazeman's has had 2 warnings for going off-track. Alessandro Brigatti has had 2 as well. Alex Sedgwick just the 1. But certainly for the top 3 drivers, Andre Castro, Lasse Sorensen and Tobias Dauenhauer, they have continued to stay within the circuit limits. Let's have a quick look at what happened to Gasper Donovsek here. Runs wide coming out of the corner. Then there's contact between himself and Alain Mouscaron, and for the second time Alain Mouscaron is turned around. Bavo Fallon manages to drive between those 2 errant cars and stays out of harm's way. Simon Palat, a driver again who's been with us all season, has Simon going beautifully well. Just 18 years of age is Simon, the Belgian driver who finished as a semi-finalist in Feedvict Racing's 2019 selection process. He's going to have to work hard here. He's got the battered car of Alex Fontana sitting right behind him. Huge amounts of experience for Alex Fontana. He is 27 years of age now. His single-seater career saw him up to GP3 and Formula Renault 3.5 and Formula 2 briefly. But nowadays he's the test driver for 42 Racing and is pushing the youngster hard. Into the pit lane comes Alex Sedgwick. So Alex Sedgwick into the pit lane. Now that is going to drop him down through the order. That must have been some sort of penalty that was applied. Yes, stop and go penalty for causing a collision with Bavo Fallon is the information that I'm getting. So that was why Bavo Fallon was pitched into a spin, hence why Alex Sedgwick was given a drive-through penalty. This is a great fight for 8th and 9th position at this stage. Simon Palat working hard, trying to keep Alex Fontana behind him. Despite the damage to the front end of Alex Fontana's car, he's going well, and he's going for the place by the look of things. Up the inside at Surtees, is going to work his way through up into 8th position. Simon Palat down into 9th, but remember the top 10 automatically go through at this stage. So in 10th place is Fabrizio Amata, but his car is carrying damage and is under huge pressure from Bavo Fallon. So this is for the final automatic qualification place with just 3 minutes to go. Can the PK Car Sport Chevy manage to work its way through and ahead of the number 41 of Fabrizio Amata at the wheel of the Club Motorsport Chevy? You can see damage to the back end of Amata's car, damage to the front end of it as well. Now he will be struggling with that. A driver who's been driving within the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series since 2013, has a big spin heading up towards Sterling's. The tail end of the car cries enough, and he's not able to get the car pointing around in the right direction in time. So Bavo Fallon is able to pick up another spot, and now behind him is the car that's just had the stop-go penalty for pitching Bavo Fallon into the spin in the first place. So Alex Sedgwick is starting to catch up with the car that he made contact with a few laps ago, and that could make it very interesting towards the end of the race, which is now only 2 minutes away. Andre Castro still leading from Lasse Sorensen by half a second, and both those two are starting to just check out a little bit now. So Tobias Dauenhauer has just dropped away. I think he's now focusing his efforts on just making sure he finishes in 3rd place, which will see him right at the sharp end for the 30-minute main championship race, which of course here this evening carries those double championship points. So it's not 40 for a win, it's 80. It's not 35 for second place, it's 70, and you'll get 68 points now rather than the 34 if you finish in 3rd position. All the way down through the order, the points are doubled for this one, including for the driver that gains the most places in the main championship race from starting position to finishing position. You'd usually get 4, you get 8 this evening, and they are all going to be important come the totting up at the end of the season. Andre Castro over the start-finish line. He goes through with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. So he will now be on to his last lap of the race this time through. And for Andre Castro, he is looking to try and close in on what would be heat win number 2 of the season for him. He won the prologue heat at Daytona on the road course that he was in. He also won his heat here at Brands Hatch last time through, did Andre Castro. He has won a main race, but that was the prologue, so it didn't carry any championship points. So Andre Castro would like to try and score good points tonight. He lies 4th in the championship standings. Leading the championship is this man here, Lasse Sorensen. But he's only 10 points ahead of Jeffrey Ruffin, who's only 2 points ahead of Loris Hazemans, who's only 10 points ahead of Andre Castro. So it's all rather close at the sharp end of the championship.